Okay, I think we're good. Apologies if you hear weird audio. My parents are out in the lounge watching The Flying Doctors, a great classic Australian TV show. Highly recommended. If you have Stan in Australia, then definitely watch it. Also, apologies for the state of this room at the moment. This is actually going to be my own room again. I'm moving back into this room eventually. For now, we've just been hoarding stuff from redoing the rest of the house in here. So once we get all that fixed, this will be my room again. Okay, I'm ready to leave the year on a positive note, unlike some of the people who have been recently commenting on my videos. Let's get this out of the way right now. If I do something you don't like, or you find me cringy or annoying, then why are you still here? Why are you still watching my video? If I'm that annoying to you, go watch something else out of the billions of videos that have been posted on this godforsaken website. Don't waste your time watching something that is clearly infuriating you so much. Let's put some of that energy into 2022, yeah? Sup peeps, it is Jackson here. Welcome to today's video. First off, I'm so sorry, again, for the delay between videos. I was meant to do Deathloop Part 1. I filmed it, I started editing it, and then I just stopped, and then I got busy, and I just haven't since. I'm also going to be painting my nails during this while repainting. Some of them got a little bit damaged at work today, so I need to fix them. Do you like them, by the way? They're new polishes. I'm very in love with them. Also, you'll notice quality at the moment. I am currently filming this on my old iPhone 11 Pro Max, and I recently finally got my iPhone 13 Pro Max. So I'm using this for my notes as well as my trusty notepad, and still using this for filming for the moment. I might change that coming very soon. But yeah, welcome to my 2021 favorites video. So I did one for last year for 2020, and I really liked it, actually getting the chance to talk to you guys about some of my favorite things of the year. And this year has been a lot. We thought last year was bad. This year for me has felt like 2 years in one. I cannot believe I did some of the things that I did this year actually this year. I cannot believe I did Be More Chill and Priscilla in the same year. I don't understand it. So I'm filming this very late. I meant to film this a few days ago, but then I picked up extra shifts at work because money, and I am now filming this on the 30th of December. So I need to edit this tonight and get it uploaded tomorrow morning before I go to work. So yeah, this is gonna be my 2021 favorites video. I'm gonna talk to you guys about some of my favorite games, TV shows, movies, music especially, and some of my most anticipated things for next year, which I didn't do last year. I really do regret doing that. And sorry this took so long, and apologies in advance for all the Marvel you're about to see. The main TV shows and movies I watched this year were like MCU stuff. I didn't watch a lot of movies or TV shows outside a lot of like MCU stuff just because I had so much on my plate, but I wanted to keep up with that story. If you guys would like to share your thoughts on some of your favorite things from the year down below, please feel free to do so. I'd love to hear from you, and you know, vibe together. Let's chat together before the year is over. I firstly want to say thank you guys so much for all of your support over the year. I know it's been very sparse in terms of the amount of videos as compared to what I did last year, but I'm so glad you're enjoying the ones that I am posting. We are at almost 800 subscribers now, which is I can't believe we're that close to 800, and even just last year we got to 700, and it blew my mind, and I'm like, I can't thank you guys enough. I never expected, like, I know it's cliche, and I know every YouTuber says this, but for me it's astonishing, because I just post shitty little videos, so thank you guys. I'm so thankful to you, and I'm so thankful to my family and my friends, and I am just thankful to be alive in this day and age, even though we're living through a really weird time. I'm just thankful. I'm just really thankful. So I'm gonna start with games this year. I didn't really play a lot of new games. I ended up replaying a lot of ones that I've already played, and I played a couple of new ones, and I watched another one. The first game I want to talk about is Deathloop. You guys haven't seen part 1 of my playthrough yet, but it is coming eventually sometime in the new year. I'm gonna try and get it up early January. Based on that first episode alone, you're gonna see how much I suck at first-person shooters. Deathloop is so cool. From the first like 2 hours that I've played of it, it's so much fun. You guys know I've been extremely hyped for this game since it's been announced, and ever since they showed stuff from it from last year's PlayStation showcases. So for those of you who don't know, Deathloop is a first-person shooter made by Bethesda and Arcane Leone, who made the Dishonored games. And in the game you play as Colt, who finds himself awakened on a mysterious island and finds himself stuck in a time loop where every time he dies, the loop restarts and the day repeats. He's also up against 8 other assassins that he has to assassinate in order to break the loop. There's a lot of intense shooting mechanics involved, a lot of melee, and a lot of puzzle solving, which is so my vibe, which is what I'm here for. I am absolutely obsessed with the art style and the fluid gameplay. Even though I suck, the gameplay is so fluid and fun despite that. It's hectic. The voice acting is done to perfection. Graphics are beautiful, and the speed at which that thing runs at, my god. Deathloop is so fun so far. I haven't gotten to any other later parts of it, so don't worry about spoilers from that for me just yet until we get to the playthrough. So far, I've very much enjoyed it. It's very much what I was expecting and very much just living up to my expectations so far. So that's on the list. The next game I want to talk about is an older game. This is a game called Firewatch. I played this earlier in the year. It came out originally in 2016. It's been in my PlayStation library for a few years now, and I've been meaning to get around to it. Basically, you play as a mountain ranger named Henry, who takes a summer job at a national park in the US, watching for fires over the summer. And over the course of the game, you talk with your tower mate, Delilah, and you gradually get to know each other while exploring and solving a certain mystery that is unfolding on the mountains. It's a really interesting game. I've had my eye on it for years, and I'm so glad I finally played it. It's a beautiful game. The graphics are absolutely beautiful, and the story is so well told, just gradually exploring and discovering things and talking with Delilah. Their voice acting is so well done, but just gradually solving the mystery. I was like, the tension that is built through this game, where you're just isolated and alone on the mountains, it's palpable. It's a very good game. If you really like first person, like exploring story-based games and mystery solving, Firewatch is definitely up your alley. I highly recommend it. And the last game is one that I did not play, but I watched. I have bought it, but I haven't played it yet. Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach. You guys know as well, this is one I was also very excited for since they announced it at last year's PlayStation Showcase. And, I have mixed feelings. Do not get me wrong. I love this game. I adore it. The graphics are beautiful. A few bugs still to be worked out, but it's been out for like, what, 2 weeks now? Story-wise, I was super excited to actually discover the mystery behind this one. As you guys know, I'm an avid follower of the Five Nights at Freddy's lore. I keep up with all of the theories and the story behind the games and the books, and so far, what I've seen in this game, I've watched Markiplier's entire playthrough, and I've watched a bit of GT Live going through it. I love Glenn McFreddy, his baby. I adore the game. I think it's beautiful. I do have opinions on this game. Some of you may not agree with them. They are valid criticisms though. So these are my gripes with Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach. Spoiler warning ahead. Here we go. So we never actually discover why Freddy malfunctioned in the intro, although I think it may be because of the fact that power was being drained to Springtrap's like chamber down below the Pizzaplex, although that's usually because power is usually drawn to them when all the animatronics are in their recharge stations. So I don't know exactly why that happened. That's never explained. What's also not explained is how Gregory managed to get into Freddy's chest cavity without being caught. Make it make sense. Why the other animatronics have been programmed / hacked into hurting people, although that's explained in the secret CDs that Vanessa has been hacking the entire Pizzaplex under the command of Glitchtrap, but still, that should have been a much more explicit mystery to solve. How Vanessa transforms into Vanny and is able to mess with Gregory's vision and the animatronics' vision. Never explained. It felt like they were building Vanny up to be the main villain, and then she was just there. Make it make sense. Whether Gregory is a human or an android, it's hinted at in the game that Gregory is in a special situation, and that his vision gets messed with whenever Vanny's nearby. That's never explained properly, if he's actually a human or if he's actually an android or an animatronic. We never find that out. Made me mad. Also, why there is no record of Gregory or his family, and why Gregory is homeless. That was one of the mysteries I was really looking forward to solving when they actually revealed it later in the game. Freddy said, good, he can be returned to his family, and Vanessa says, no, he can't. Turns out there's no record of him. I was like, okay, are we gonna solve this? And no, we didn't. Make it make sense. Why the animatronics become more withered and damaged as the night progresses, although explained in written logs that something is drawing major power from recharge stations and the Pizzaplex from down below, later revealed to be Afton drawing power from the animatronics to resurrect himself in one of the endings. Why Freddy isn't more shocked, as Gregory reveals to Freddy that he severely damaged his fellow animatronics to get Freddy his upgrades. You'd think by that point Freddy would have just absolutely turned on him. Like, I appreciate the loyalty, but bruh, you said you didn't want to hurt them and Gregory did exactly that. Make it make sense! Why we had to choose between Pfizer Blast or Monty Golf. Make the stealing upgrade section a part of the full story, not a side quest. Gregory and Freddy mention disappearances when about to leave the Pizzaplex.
Freddy, If I leave now, nothing will change, will it? There will be more disappearances.
Yes, I am afraid that is correct.
And it is also referenced in one of the ending comics. Go into more detail. Why only say this at the end? If that's what Gregory's goal was, to investigate the alleged disappearances by sneaking in after hours, then why didn't he say anything about it? And how does Freddy know about them? Leading on from that, we never actually get to face off properly and try to defeat Vanny. A real missed opportunity, as she was meant to be the main villain of the game. If Freddy got destroyed in one ending, we should have been given the chance as Gregory to face off against her. Just, if Vanny was teased as a major part of the game, then make her a major part of the game. Her being there felt almost pointless, except for the fact that she was trying to bring Glitchtrap back. She didn't really pose any actual threat. The fight against Glitchtrap should have been an actual fight, and it should have been a part of the main game. I get that secret endings are a part of the series. It was teased in the trailer, so it should not have been hidden away. Adding on to that, the ruined pizza place, supposedly from FNAF 6 Pizzeria Simulator, underneath the Pizzaplex, on the way to Glitchtrap, should have been elaborated upon. In the trailer, we hear Vanessa say,
Gregory, we can get you out of here. You and me together.
That never happened. Make it make sense! How Vanessa managed to, under Glitchtrap's control, find Afton's body and bring a recharge station down to the burnt-out pizzeria. And how was she able to get down and up anyway, considering Freddy said the elevator
Does not appear to follow any safety protocols. I do not think it can survive more than one trip.
What would happen to Vanessa once Afton gets resurrected? Will she be freed, or will he continue to control her? My only other gripe, while I appreciate the comic-drawn endings, they're beautiful, I wish they had been in-game cutscenes. Did they run out of time? Like, I get this is FNAF, and that's how it's always been with endings like this. But this was a complete change-up of the FNAF style. It would have been so perfect to have those endings also stay with the style of the game itself. So overall, the game is fantastic, but it does still feel rushed. I would have waited longer if I had to, for these parts to be fixed. It also just feels really anticlimactic. Like, you take all these parts from the different animatronics, put them in Freddy, and boom, it's 6 AM. No real boss fights, no real solving of any of its mysteries. It felt like it finished way too quickly. A game that takes place over 6 hours should not feel like it only took 6 hours to complete. Markiplier really summarized my thoughts best on this game in part 7 of his playthrough the other day.
There's so many areas in this game, and it doesn't feel like they're all utilized. What I think happened is they obviously put an incredible amount of detail into the game itself, right? The actual environment of the game. And then I think, now hear me out on this, I think that the game originally played a lot differently than the way it does right now. Because what we have is a series of really interesting moments that are connected in a way that doesn't necessarily make a lot of sense, or isn't as cohesive as one would think it would be. And then, like, in the process, maybe that there was an issue in development, or maybe like something went wrong, or maybe I'm completely wrong and I'm just like slinging out baseless accusations. But there are a lot of really polished moments, like, and really fun, interesting moments that feel very nice, and they're cohesive, and the experience is good. And on the other side, there are moments that do not feel as connected. Because this is another thing that feels like it was going to be something, but maybe it's not going to be something. I don't know.
So anyway, I'm done talking about FNAF. We are done the games. I loved all of them. Some of them had room for improvement, but overall, very much enjoyed it. Alright, let's move on to TV. So the first TV show I watched all the way through this year was Invincible on Amazon Prime Video, and I was taken on a roller coaster. So I was initially not going to watch this, and then one night my friends and I were having dinner, and I was staying over at their place, and they made me watch the first episode, and by the ending of that first episode, no spoilers by the way for this one guys, my jaw hit the floor. Here's my reaction to that, by the way. Oh Jesus Christ. Whoa! As you should be. What is going on? Oh, whoa, whoa. Ah! What the f*** is happening? What? Yeah, I'm just watching X's reaction. What the f***? Holy f***. Why? Yeah, 100%. No, what the f***? It was ridiculous. This show is so good. I am a sucker for superhero stories. And this was beautifully animated, voice acted, with a lot of surprising cameos, holy crap. And wow, I was bawling by the last episode. Like, even at the beginning of the last episode, I was sobbing like a baby. It's brutal. This whole show is brutal. It is violent, it is gory, it is tragic, it's harrowing, and it's a beautifully dark story told in such a light style. I really, really, really enjoyed Invincible, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what happens next. Next up was season 5 of Rick and Morty. I love this show so much, and I still love that they're leaning more towards the sci-fi, really out there elements. It's been getting a very mixed rap from a lot of people, but I personally really enjoyed this season. The final episode is just absolutely beautiful. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to more Rick and Morty, more classic laughs, more dumb jokes, and seeing where else the universe will take these two. Next up is not my favorite show of the year, but I was intrigued to see how this would turn out. This was season 2 of Tiger King. Did not think this was a show that required a season 2, but we got one anyway. It's only like 5 or 6 episodes though, and honestly for me it was really interesting to see the aftermath of the first season and how much it's affected the people involved. Not that I feel sorry for them, they're all still pieces of shit, but it's very interesting to see all the repercussions that first season has had on all of these people's lives. I'd say stick it out if you're gonna think of watching, because that final episode is something to behold. Not nearly as wacko and crazy as season 1, but it gets up there. It's definitely an interesting watch. If not my favorite, at least it was really interesting. Next up is a series I think the entire world was talking about at one point, Squid Game. I think I watched it in like the first 2 days or so that it came out. I saw it on my Netflix homepage and I just started watching, and I'd heard good things, and it's one of the best shows I have ever seen. And please watch the subbed version, not the dub. The English dub is absolutely horrendous, but it's such a good show. The direction and cinematography, every shot, no matter how grotesque it is absolutely beautiful. The stakes are so high. I thought it was absolutely beautifully done show. The tension pulls you through the entire series, and you just get so invested. Also, big spoiler alert, justice for Ali. He deserves so much better. F you, Sang-woo. If you ever watched Squid Game, so do it. It's so good. You'll understand the hype, I promise you. And now, the other 4 shows are all Marvel shows, which, going into the MCU doing TV shows for the first time, I was like, this is gonna be interesting. And it turns out they really know how to make a goddamn good TV show. So obviously WandaVision's first, which is absolutely beautiful. Elizabeth Olsen and Paul Bettany are fantastic as always. It's a really interesting painted picture of grief and how different people cope with it and deal with it. It's a very good show, and you guys know I'm a sucker for a good mystery, and that one had plenty of mysteries pulling me through the series. It's a slow build, and I loved all the different homages to TV styles of decades past. Beautiful show. Really great. Second one was The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, which is only 6 episodes, but it felt like a 6-hour movie. Like a 6-hour Marvel movie. I went into it not expecting to like it as much as I did. I feel like it definitely went the route of Captain America the Winter Soldier, which is one of my favorites in the MCU. It aimed to be a political thriller first and a superhero movie / show second. And that worked so well for Captain America, and for these 2 characters built like centered solely around the Captain America world, worked so well. And of course, Anthony Mackie and Sebastian Stan are fantastic as always. Love this show. It's so good. Also, another one of my favorites is Loki. Loki is fantastic. You guys know I'm a sucker for a good mystery to be solved, and this one had me hooked. Tom Hiddleston as always is perfect as Loki. Owen Wilson really surprised me. I really liked his character in this show. It's a really well done series, and again, aesthetically and visually, stunning. I can't say good enough things about Loki. If you haven't watched it, it's another slow build, but watch it. The tension is so palpable, it really pulls you through. Like, it really got me hooked. It's so good. The other series is What If, Marvel's first animated series, which was really well done. The animation was beautiful. We got to see the very last Chadwick Boseman's performances as T'Challa, but it's a really beautiful show, and it really surprised me going through. Episode 4 broke my heart. I was sobbing. Also, Jeffrey Wright is perfectly cast as the Watcher. It's very good. Now, I haven't watched Hawkeye yet. I'm gonna start doing that as soon as we get into the new year. I've heard very good things. And also, I'm a massive fan of Florence Pugh's performance in Black Widow, which I will get to when we talk about movies. So yeah, those are my top TV shows of the year. Next on to movies. Don't be surprised that all but 3 of them are superhero films. So first up, Black Widow. I know this movie has gotten mixed opinions, but I really enjoyed it. For my first time back in the cinema seeing a Marvel movie again, I had a great time. Scarlett Johansson, as always, perfectly plays the role. Florence Pugh! Absolute queen. I love her as Yelena. I can't say good enough things about Florence Pugh as Yelena. She's so good. I really enjoyed Black Widow. It's on Disney Plus. If you want to, go watch it. Next up was a movie that I had been hyped for over a year. James Gunn's The Suicide Squad. We're leading over to DC this time, and this is everything that I hoped the 2016 version would be. This was perfect, from the cast, some returning, some new. They were all absolutely magnificent. Margot Robbie still is an expert at Harley Quinn. Joel Kinnaman was fantastic. Viola Davis is still the best on-screen Amanda Waller I have ever seen. Idris Elba, perfect addition to the cast. Also, this is a King Shark stan account. If you don't agree, I'm sorry that you're wrong. King Shark is absolute baby and I love him. I should have worn my King Shark shirt. I have a King Shark t-shirt. No! It's beautiful. It's hilarious. It's bloody. Oh, it's everything I hoped it would be. If you have not watched it, watch it. I don't know if it's on any streaming services at the moment, but at least rent it. It's so worth the watch, and I'm so glad I got to see this in cinemas with Megan. We had a great time. We waited to see this with each other. I wanted to see it on opening night, but then we got put into lockdown the week that it came out. So as soon as lockdown ended, Megan and I booked our tickets and we went to go see it, and we had a blast. Next up was Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, another Marvel Studios film, and this was so good! I wasn't expecting this movie to rank as highly as it did for me. It's in my top 5, you guys. It's in my top 5 of the MCU now. It was so beautiful. Simu Liu and Awkwafina, I love them both with all my being. Tony Leung plays one of the most nuanced and perfect villains in superhero movie history. Like, it was a perfect cast. The visuals are stunning. Yes, it's very CGI heavy, but it's beautifully done. Fight choreo and the fight scenes were filmed and done to perfection. I love Shang-Chi. It's also on Disney Plus. Watch it. Next up was a film that came out earlier in the year, but I only ended up watching it in October, November. This is Bo Burnham's Inside, which is a comedy special on Netflix. It's also a musical special, and this album I listened to the days after I watched it. The album didn't make my top albums list because it's technically a soundtrack. I don't really count soundtracks in my rankings, unfortunately. But I wanted to give it a shout out because the film itself is absolutely beautiful. I did not watch it initially when it came out because I was in such a horrendous mental state and caught up in so many things that I could not do it. I wasn't able to just yet. I had heard Welcome to the Internet, and that was it. About 2 months ago, I was feeling much more in a good mood, and I was like, you know what, screw it. It's about time I watched this, and I was an emotional wreck at the end. It's so beautiful, it's dark, it's depressing, it's hopeful, it's nuanced, and Bo's voice and the production is so well done. For someone who filmed this entirely at home, in quarantine, I cannot imagine how much of a toll that would have had to have taken on him. It's a beautifully done film. Next up is another Marvel Studios film called Eternals. This one also got very mixed reviews. I personally really enjoyed it. I loved the absolute change of pace and the change of style and the tone that this one took compared to other MCU films. This felt like a really big breath of fresh air for the MCU. The entire cast, I love them with all my being. I really love the story. The visuals are absolutely gorgeous. I love this movie. And I'm sorry if you don't. I'm sorry if it didn't vibe with you, but also don't call it trash just because you think it's trash. The correct sentence is you think it's trash. I think it's amazing. So I definitely recommend watching it. It's on Disney Plus, January 12th. I highly recommend it. I had a great time seeing this. Next one is another Netflix one. It is a Christmas movie, Single All the Way. And I am so here for all the gay romantic comedies. I told last year about Happiest Season, and then we got Single All the Way this year. I personally really enjoyed this one. Although I have a bone to pick with the family. Stop meddling in his love life. Leave the poor boy alone. But also, like, it worked out. But also, leave him alone! I am gonna skip the next one on my list because we have a lot to talk about in that one. That's major spoilers. So I'm gonna skip back to my last one, which I literally watched last night at the very last minute to make this list. Also on Netflix. This is called Don't Look Up. It's a film by Adam McKay starring Leonardo DiCaprio, Jennifer Lawrence, and a bunch of other megastars. I watched it on FaceTime with Emma last night, and I absolutely loved it because it's so my kind of dark humor, but it's also really depressing. Because it feels honestly too real at this point. Basically, it centers around Professor Mindy and his PhD student, Kate Dibiasky, who discover a comet that is very large and has a trajectory headed straight towards Earth. And seeing how people react and governments react when faced with a crisis like this. And it felt too real, honestly. Seeing how the world has handled the pandemic and its response to climate change, it's an interesting watch. It's both optimistic and bleak at the same time, and I laughed a lot. But also at times, I just sort of felt like it's a beautifully done film. There's room for improvement, for sure, but it's also acted to perfection, so I really loved it. It's on Netflix. Check it out if you want to, but be prepared for it to be a little bit too relatable at this day and age. The last film I'm going to talk about is a film I've already seen twice in cinemas and I really want to go back. You know which one it is. Spider-Man No Way Home. Again, major spoiler territory right here, so if you haven't watched it yet, mute this entire thing. I'm not going to be showing any clips from it, but I'm going to be talking about spoilers, so you've been warned. Holy crap, this movie is fantastic. Visuals are stunning, the story is so gripping, the acting, Tom Holland, Benedict Cumberbatch, Zendaya, Andrew Garfield, Tobey Maguire, Alfred Molina, Willem Dafoe, Jamie Foxx. As a massive Spider-Man fan, I had such a good time with this movie. My audience cheered as soon as Andrew Garfield came on, and cheered even louder when Tobey Maguire came on. There were audible gasps and clapping. I sobbed uncontrollably during certain scenes. Aunt May's death, Peter wanting to tell MJ who he was after they had their memories erased but deciding not to and putting the letter back in his pocket. I was bawling. But I also love the way they ended it. Like, Peter now has a fresh start. It's a clean slate for him. He gets to actually be his own Spider-Man and start from the ground up. He's no longer living under the shadow of Iron Man or the Avengers anymore. And I am so excited to see where that goes, because I know he's signed on for more movies, and we've had 2 Venom post-credit scenes now, and the possibility of Deadpool coming in too. I'm so pumped. I'm so pumped. I'm so pumped. I love this movie so much. Go see it in cinemas if you haven't. Avoid spoilers at all costs, which is probably impossible right now, but do your best and go see it ASAP. It's so good. One of the best Marvel movies to date. And that's my movies. We're getting through them pretty quickly, guys. I'm surprised. Okay, we're gonna get into music now, so really quickly I want to give some honorable mentions to 2 albums that came out this year. I'm not including them in my album rankings because they are technically re-recordings of old albums, so clearly you guys know where I'm heading to with this. So Fearless Taylor's version and Red Taylor's version came out this year as the beginnings of Taylor Swift re-recording her albums, and I love them so much. If you guys want to check out the reactions, links will be in the description. They're on my channel with Megan. We had such a blast listening to these, and I'm so proud of Taylor. I really am. So yeah, I'm not including the albums in my album ranking, but I am including the new songs that came out on these albums. So from the vault tracks, I did include those in my song rankings. So there's those. I just wanted to shout them out because they were fantastic. So now that we've gotten that out of the way, I want to talk about my top songs, EPs, and albums of the year. Now, there's always songs and albums that I miss, and I did miss quite a few this year just because I had so much on my plate, and I'm really upset that I missed them, but the ones I did get to listen to, I'm really glad I did. So I'm gonna start with songs. And can I just start by saying this year's ranking for my top 100 songs was so difficult. There was so many good songs released this year. Literally all the songs that I thought were gonna end up in my top 20 ended up taking like the whole top 50. So that tells you how difficult this whole thing was for me. But I feel really good about this year's ranking because I had like 161 songs left on my shortlist. So I just put on shuffle and ranked every single one, edited it slightly, and then chop it off at 100, which was a brutal blow to some beautiful songs. But my top 100 songs, I'm really proud of this year, and I'm thankful. I'm thankful for music every year for both keeping me sane, giving me something to listen to and cry about and relate to. I love music, so here is songs 100 to 21. Okay, so now with that out of the way, please allow me to introduce to you my top 20 songs of 2021. Number 20 One Right Now by Post Malone and The Weeknd. Number 19, She Knows It by Maggie Lindemann. Number 18, My Girlfriends Are My Boyfriend by Demi Lovato featuring Saweetie. Number 17, Leave the Door Open by Silk Sonic aka Bruno Mars and Anderson .Paak. Number 16, Don't You by Taylor Swift. Number 15, Girl Is a Gun by Halsey. Number 14, Bad Habits by Ed Sheeran. Number 13, Male Fantasy by Billie Eilish. Number 12, Traitor by Olivia Rodrigo. And number 11, Personal by Rebecca Black. And now we get into the top 10. I'm not going to give an explanation for all these songs this year like I did last year, so I'm just going to give you the rundown. Number 10, I Am Not a Woman, I'm a God by Halsey. Number 9, First Time by Elenium and Ian Dior. Number 8, Die For You by Bring Me The Horizon. Number 7, Good Ones by Charlie XCX. Number 5, Driver's License by Olivia Rodrigo. Number 4, Bad Girl by Daya. Number 3, One More by S.G. Lewis and Nile Rodgers. Number 2, Good For You by Olivia Rodrigo. And my number 1 song of the year, Happier Than Ever by Billie Eilish. That is songs! So many good songs this year! So I am now going to go on to EPs and my top 5 EPs this year. Number 5 was Last Year Was Weird Volume 3 by TK Meizer. Number 4 was Scenic Drive, The Tape by Khalid. Number 3 is Rebecca Black Was Here by Rebecca Black. Number 2, Paranoia by Maggie Lindemann. And number 1, The Difference by Daya. Now we move on to my top 20 albums. Number 20, An Evening with Silk Sonic by Silk Sonic, aka Bruno Mars and Anderson .Paak. Number 19, Times by S.G. Lewis. Number 18, Montero by Lil Nas X. Number 17, Spaceman by Nick Jonas. Number 16, Equals by Ed Sheeran. Number 15, Cry Forever by Amy Shark. Number 14, Solar Power by Lorde. Number 13, A Touch of the Beat Gets You Up on Your Feet, Gets You Out and Then Into the Sun by Ali and AJ. Number 12, Poster Girl by Zara Larsson. Number 11, Mind Games by Geordie. Number 10, If I Could Make It Go Quiet by Girl in Red. Number 9, Planet Her by Doja Cat. Number 8, Godzilla by the Veronicas. Number 7, Dancing with the Devil, The Art of Starting Over by Demi Lovato. Number 6, In the Meantime by Alessia Cara. Number 5, Life Support by Madison Beer. Number 4, 30 by Adele. Number 3, Sour by Olivia Rodrigo. Number 2, Happier Than Ever by Billie Eilish. And number 1, If I Can't Have Love, I Want Power by Halsey. I know I'm not giving an explanation for my albums this year, which saves time, but I do have to come clean. That top 3, Sour, Happier Than Ever, and If I Can't Have Love, I Want Power, was so difficult. It was back and forth for from August onwards. So much good music this year. Yo, the ladies actually really fucking killed it this year. The majority of my albums and songs and EPs this year, it was women, and we love to see it. So those are all my rankings of the year, and I do want to talk a little bit about some of my most anticipated stuff for 2022. Only a small list, I promised I won't keep talking for too much longer. So one of the games I'm very excited for is Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. We've been talking about this since they announced it. They actually showed some trailers this year, and I'm very, very, very excited for this game. I have a PS5 now, so I'll be able to play it as soon as it comes out. I am a huge fan of the Batman Arkham games. I want to go back and replay them before Suicide Squad comes out, and I will try and do a playthrough of this game as well on the channel. So if you guys want to see that, let me know. But I'm so excited. The gameplay looks so sick. I'm so excited to see what the story's like. I believe in Rocksteady. Rocksteady have a good track record, so I'm pumped. Another game I'm excited for is Gotham Knights, made by Warner Brothers Montreal. I am a little bit worried because it is RPG mechanics. I'm not the biggest fan of RPG games, but I love the Batman mythos, so I'm so ready to give this a shot and see what the whole mystery is behind the Court of Owls. A movie this time, The Batman, featuring Robert Pattinson and Zoe Kravitz as Batman and Catwoman respectively. I'm so hyped for this movie. Holy crap. I'm getting together again to go watch it opening night. I'm so pumped for this. I'm wearing my Batman necklace to the movie. So excited. Another movie I'm very excited for is Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, which we got a teaser for at the end of Spider-Man No Way Home. I'm so hyped. I love Doctor Strange. It's one of my favorite Marvel movies, and going straight from WandaVision and Spider-Man, seeing how this works out, I'm pumped. And the final thing I want to talk about that I'm so excited for 2022, which was only announced very recently, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse Part 1. I am a massive fan of Into the Spider-Verse. It's one of my favorite movies of all time, animated and live action ever. and I'm so excited to see where Miles' story goes from here. I also just really want to say how, like I said at the beginning, this year has been really strange and it's felt so long. I can't believe some of the things I've managed to achieve this year. I got to choreograph my first show. I did my first show where I actually had a speaking role. I made so many new friends, got to meet up with old ones, have so many new experiences despite the pandemic happening right beside us. And I'm so thankful to you guys, to my friends, to my family, to the people who decided to come on here with me, to my best friend Megan and her partner Caitlin, who always put up with my bullshit. I love you guys so much. To my friends Mary Rose, Romany, Rachel, Carl, Ethan, I love y'all. To Nick, Brittany, Emma, Brock, Megan, Ben, Riley, and Adam, I love all of you. Thank you for believing in me and helping me through everything this year. And to my family, I love you guys so much. Thanks for being there. I don't know, just thanks for being there. It's been a crazy year, a draining year, an exhausting year, but a transformative one, I think. I feel really good about things going ahead. I'm not trying to give myself too many high hopes for 2022. I'm just gonna go with the flow and see what happens. I'm very excited to be starting doing We Will Rock You at the beginning of this year. We start rehearsals on the 10th, so I'm very excited to get back into doing another show. It's gonna be a crazy ride. So thank you guys for sticking around. I love you all so much. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, if you want to, just to keep up with everything. I hope you guys have had a very Merry Christmas or Happy Holidays, however you celebrate, and I hope you have an amazing and safe and happy New Year. And I will see you guys in 2022. I do have a very small amount of bloopers. Very small this year. I didn't save a lot because I didn't film as much, so they'll be coming up straight after this. So I love you guys, as always. Stay fabulous, and I'll see you guys next year. Please stay safe. I love you guys. Bye. Oh, I got that done just in time for the news. We love to see it. I have a feeling, an inkling, that this whole experiment of me learning to cook is going to end horribly. But at least you'll be entertained. Are you not entertained? You know how I've been falling asleep lately? You know the audio logs that you collect in Arkham City when you collect the Riddler trophies?
Don't tell me
On
you
Hugo.
listen to them.
It's like an audio book. It's Hugo Strange talking to the different inmates.
That's cute.
It's so good. Sorry, they're watching The Voice, and part of me has always wanted to audition, but also part of me hates the sound of my own voice and knows other people will too. One of these days, I'll end up doing it. Okay, I'm gonna cry when I see this in person. I've been watching so many unboxing videos the past few days, and they're like they're all valid and they all made purchases, but half of them got it as presents from their families, and then like the other half are like, this is my MacBook from 2018. It's been running so slow lately. I'm like, A, I had to save my ass off and buy this myself, and B, try having a MacBook from 2012 that runs on 2 gigabytes of RAM for 6 years. Then we can talk, okay. Oh, I finally watched the Fire Festival documentary on Netflix yesterday. Ooh. Like after so long I've been meaning to watch it, I finally watched it. Yeah. And can I get a what the f***? Because what the f***? What the
happened?
actual f***? Have you seen it?
No.
It's f***ing ridiculous. I knew it was bad, but I did not know it was that bad. What the f***?
Bitch.
Till he sees the bracelet strings.
Yeah, and then he's like,
You're lucky this is cheap.
My girlfriend's on my boyfriend, ain't nobody know me better.
I love this song! Let's do lectures on and all that. Jazz. Taylor now owns 4 of her 9 albums with this. Woo! On April 9th.
nice.
4-9. She's a fucking evil genius. I hate her.
This is Ben.
Hi, Ben.
He's one of the 2 squishmallows that I have on my bed. I can't remember what this guy's name. He's new. My partner likes squishmallows, so we decided to keep these 2 bad boys on the bed and like the rest like in other spots of the room. And these 2 are very cute. They're good to hug when she's away.
I don't want to spoil it for you.
Okay, that's fine. You can tell me afterwards.
Yeah.
Cover.
Okay, yeah. Holy shit.
Holy shit.
We've known for a while who this one was written about. And I can't look at him the same again. I'll tell you who after the song.
Who was it about?
That's apparently who All Too Well was about as well.
Alright.
Apparently. I Taylor's never confirmed who it's been about, ever. Yeah, anyway, I won't put this in the video. Jackson, cut that out. Who knows, maybe I'll actually have a boyfriend that sticks around for longer than 3 months. I'm cutting that out. I'm cutting that out.